my whole thing is like how much grief it got. It got grief for the wrong reasons. It got grief because like, oh, Arya should have been the one that killed the Night King, and Jon Snow should have been the one that killed. I'm just like, that's not like, yeah, who gives a fuck about that? It's the fact that they all of a sudden like took like what would have taken 2 seasons to complete. They did in 2 episodes.
So it has flaws. I would say the top 5 shows are
Sopranos.
The Wire, Breaking Bad. I haven't seen.
Not in order.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
You can't because they're also different.
But you can consider it one of the best based off of the popularity of it.
Again, Mad Men. I've seen the start of it, but everybody says it's good.
Yeah, I don't know fucking ransom.
For me, The Sopranos. I've watched it 3 times over.
See, Breaking Bad though, I think that's an interesting one because the way that season.
Here are 4 movies matching Sopranos.
Sopranos. But Breaking Bad though ended it very well. Like I was very
Breaking
Bad. It's very
ended
ambiguous.
well.
You don't even know if Walter White dies. But then the movie came out. I was like,
The
why even
movie's
make
ass.
the movie? Like the movie's
Movie was
trash.
ass.
I want to make a couple points here before just to get my chest.
Before we start talking about Sopranos.
It is 2 things. The ending of a show is always debatable because even remember when the
build-up is so.
get my fucking point across. You fucking just cut me out.
God damn it, Jake.
Sopranos.
What was that movie with the fucking dragons and the ring? The
How to Train Your Dragon?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Lord of the Rings.
That was like the biggest movie, and everybody was shitting on how that ended. They said it took too long to say goodbye to the characters. Harry Potter too. They're like, everybody's hating on the end of it. The Sopranos, however, we're still debating if that was a good ending because it leaves it open to the viewer. It's 10, 12 years later. So I think that's of importance. Plus, since it came earlier 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, it did break down the door for more violent stuff on TV, which led to The Wire, which led to other.
Apparently, you two haven't seen
to Breaking
Friends.
Bad.
He's got violence.
And the way Friends ends,
They kicked down all of it.
Actually, that's very funny because
in terms of reality
he's
and violence,
watched
Friends.
He's watched the entire series of Sopranos. We haven't watched the entire series of Sopranos. He's watched the entire series of Friends. We haven't watched the entire series of Friends. And I've watched the entire series of Cowboy Bebop, the greatest anime ever made. Neither of them don't even know what that is.
no one knows what that is.
I guarantee.
Hey,
Take a vote.
Can we get comments? Like,
Send us your
who's
takes
seen this?
Hey,
seen
Cowboy Bebop, Shmeep Shmop,
Should we
Reebok.
That's not that. I'm going to talk about fucking Sopranos
take
now.
a smoke break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a friendly reminder, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
What's your favorite comedian to watch?
Oh, the one that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself?
I think before we took a break, you said Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, one white guy represent mayonnaise. Louis C.K. Even after all the controversy, I still actually like. Even when like his leaked audio,
Yeah.
I still thought it was fucking hilarious. Like when he made the joke, it was just like such a subtle joke where it's like when he's like talking, he's like, you know what, fuck it. He's like, what are you gonna do? Take away my birthday at this point? I was like, yeah, this is good jokes.
Yeah.
I gotta say, mine's tied. Classic Mitch Hedberg and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
I'd say
I feel like they're very much on opposite ends of their comedy spectrum, but I love them both kind of equally.
Oh yeah, well, especially if you just think about it in regards to like Dave Chappelle has that crackle, that pop to it, and Mitch Hedberg's like that because he was a
dry.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg just his life is too short, Like his base of comedy is
Well, yeah, imagine
too
his
good for
solid.
that shortness.
Yeah, super solid.
But he had time to actually like grow and stuff like that because he was still
Same with
so early in his career.
Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah. I love the one joke where he's like, it's like if I have like a Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, it's like I'll recycle that. He's like, I don't give a fuck about the environment. I just want to toss it over my shoulder and have it laying next to like a dead white woman with my fingerprints on it.
I think one of my favorite stories of Patrice O'Neal is like Kevin Hart podcast on Joe Rogan. And he's talking about like he's the best hater that's ever lived. Like Kevin Hart's telling his story like, ugh. Hey, what's up, man? What's the problem? He's like, the way you talk annoys me. So much hate.
What am I supposed to do? was thinking about a joke today. I was in the bathroom. I don't know what made me think about it, but it was an abortion joke. It wasn't a popular comedian now, but it was like on Comedy Central back in the early 2000s. And he was talking about how his girlfriend was getting an abortion, and he was waiting in the car and he was listening to trap music about murdering and drug dealing and stuff like that. And she sits in the car and she's just like, why do you always gotta listen to that music about killing? And he's saying this is from where I sit,
You're only killing
you're the only killer here.
Patrice, right? Who was that?
No, it wasn't Patrice.
What? Who is that? Because I remember that specifically from where I'm sitting. It wasn't his girl. It was a friend, and he was trying to be a good friend in the scenario, right? And so he took her to her abortion and didn't say anything, but she had the audacity to talk about his music, and he's like, "Well, you want to talk about it? You know, kill it."
We're gonna start pointing fingers now.
You have any idea who that was?
I would vote Patrice O'Neal.
But I don't think it was. I feel like it was.
Well, no, I'm not saying that as because that literally was a one-off joke that I just literally while I was taking a piss today,
remembered.
I was just like. Just comment as a whole.
Alright, well, follow up to that. Why would you say Chris Rock is better than Louis C.K.?
Chris Rock is very consistent. He has
He's gonna jerk it into plants. And
yeah, he has 4 or 5
stand-up
specials since the mid '90s to mid 2000s. I don't know when his last special came out, but each one of them was relevant and hilarious and
relatable.
His best quality is the shit he says. You're like, yes, like that. He makes very good points. His making of points is more on point than all other comedians.
I will say though, I feel like Louis C.K. is very good at that because I remember very particularly a Louis C.K. stand-up that I had seen. He was talking about being broke. He's like, I was so broke, the bank charged me for not having money because he overdrafted, right? That was super relatable to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's not as consistently relatable, but I'm saying he is very relatable. In that
what I want to say about Chris Rock, because I was a huge Chris Rock fan in the early 2000s. I loved all his stand-ups. I literally would follow it.
And still do when you look back at the ones before.
Yeah, I still enjoy them.
Okay.
But now when I watch them, I just don't have that same connection, I guess.
Yeah. I'd say
May it be a cultural divide or whatever, but personally, when I watch him now, I just feel for me, I do feel like he's fallen off from when I would watch him. I remember watch all his
he's trying too hard, or what about him has fallen off?
Essentially that, where he's more so trying to portray that same character that he did portray in the early 2000s. I remember I'd even watch his movies and his shitty movies too, because I'll watch him now, being like, ooh, I remember I fucking love this, Down to Earth, when he goes and jumps into the body of an old wife.
he's not as good now.
No, but his stand-ups though still hold up, I feel like.
Sounds about white.
But
that's why I had to preface it with a cultural.
You said when Tambourine came out, but I was like, yeah, his material is about him present day.
Well, I like his divorce jokes and stuff like that. He still has good jokes.
Post-divorce.
I'm not saying all of it's bad. I'm just saying I don't have that same connection that I did.
For some reason, you don't relate to it as much as you did before.
Exactly.
Or you can't get the same kick out.
But at the same time, it's
but you don't know what it is about it.
Because I can still watch his old. Because when I do watch his old stand-ups, I still enjoy them.
He just did Tambourine. But in terms of relatability, it's more he's a politician because his ideas are hilarious, but they're damn, yeah, we should he just said if bullets cost $5,000, there would be no innocent bystanders.
Wanda Sykes had the same joke, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, a gun. About a $500 gun. It's shit. It's if I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna make it worth it. Ooh, hold on, do a little bit more before I...
Yeah, I mean...
But the whole thing is, I also don't think it's, I don't feel like success was his downfall. For me, and I'm not saying downfall. I'm just saying I don't think success was what killed it for me, because Dave Chappelle's new stuff is nothing but about him being rich type deal. And about loving, tax
I feel like I have a
stuff.
middle ground on both of these. For me, Chris Rock, he's a little bit much at times, right? And he's just eccentric. He's very eccentric. I feel like when he does his stand on that.
And his delivery.
You telling me? Right? Very loud and
he-
eccentric. Hold on, let me finish. And I feel like Louis C.K. is very just fucking mopey.
Says it. Yeah.
He's very mopey a lot of times.
So you're...
But on either end of the spectrum, I feel like that's what makes them them, and I feel like that's why people love them. So their portions of them being just like too much,
Yeah.
I can respect, and I can still enjoy both of them.
And you're gonna catch.
What's your middle ground?
On who do I like better, one or the other?
Or yeah.
I think my favorite, again, Mitch Hedberg and Chappelle. I would say Chappelle probably has the edge just because he still is able to make new material.
That's what I'm saying.
And
I
he's
feel
still
like Dave
consistently
Chappelle is
great.
So
But if I was to like choose between one or the other, I honestly, they're tied for me. Chris Rock and Louis C.K. I like them both, and I think they're both super funny in their own regards.
And again, I'm not saying Chris Rock's bad now. I still like a lot of his jokes. It's just it doesn't have that same like. I just remember growing up and
It's just
like, literally
interesting
Chris Rock
seeing-
was like my favorite, and then all of a sudden like I watch him now and just be like, I like 30 to 45% of his stand-ups now.
It's just interesting, kind of asking you each the question. You both give me different comics, and you both explain why they're good.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, okay, I have my
Makes
ideas
sense.
of what I agree with both of those, but
Yeah.
I also have my reason why I don't like them. And I feel like the reason I don't like them, I probably love both of them, but they're not my favorite. I guess they're what would be impeding on their status in my head of the best comedian. But that's what their biggest fans love them for, and that's what's funny about it, you know.
So the whole thing like with Chris Rock is like that whole thing was why he has fans. It's like, and then I told him that. I feel like if Chris Rock just dropped that whole like. I feel like it's more
Just
so like
him,
a
though.
character. No, but I feel like because I've watched interviews with him, and I've really enjoyed.
He
the
still
interviews.
talks like
Yeah, he doesn't talk anything like it. He talks just like casual, like a casual dude. I feel like if he were to just fall back on that, he would be way more enjoyable. Because the whole thing is just like I don't see like Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. talk about being wealthy. They talk about being insanely wealthy and like shitting on like lower and punching down on their
Chris Rock
jokes.
talked
And it's
about
still
how
hilarious.
his divorce and his wife took his money. You know?
Yeah, and those jokes I thought was fucking hilarious. But I just feel like you just kind of just tone down like that character.
All right,
that you built.
Chris Rock, you heard it here. You need to tone it down a bit. Maybe there's some success.
Jake. You know, you might see a couple paychecks in your future.
You might land a couple HBO specials.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This opinion is more valuable than gold.
We'll take a 10% cut for any future success.
I've tapped into the bank.
Hey, you better not cut it down the next special because we're going to find you, Chris Rock.
Yeah, I better see
We got a
check.
time and date stamp on this bitch.
I want to see a post-dated check before your next special, all right? You hear me? And again, like
Sir Steve's about to smoke the blunt, and we will transition over to 420 time. George, tell us your favorite smoking experience from the past since you don't smoke anymore.
who's George?
Hey, before the thing I
Did I
got,
say George? I meant Jake. Dog, I keep doing that to you, man. It's fucking crazy.
Right?
hey, before the thing I got bitch lungs, I do have
He's sick.
HIV, so then you guys know that's the reason for the cough.
Jake Williams, what's your favorite
I want to talk about Steve having HIV.
He's smoking weed,
Jake?
so it's cured.
Oh,
It's
that's,
medical.
that's why I stopped smoking weed because I have HIV and I want it.
I'm trying to keep that shit, man.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Spicy,
So,
spicy
Jake?
blood.
Fuck, low immune system? Hell yeah.
They were smoking. Honestly, like, smoking with the homies or just having a great
But like,
time.
I know you have a memory that's like one of your favorite memories. It's okay if it's not the favorite, but just one of the top 5 memories you have smoking.
A good one, actually, and the only reason why I even state this is because I've spent embarrassing amount of time searching for this video that sparked the whole thing. It was.
I'm gonna have to do a SpongeBob.
It was. Actually, it was. It was one of the first times I used to. One of the first times I smoked, but it was the first time that a mutual friend of ours smoked. And we were watching SpongeBob videos, and they were doing a YouTube video. It was like, F is for friends like you and me. And there's hard cut to like satanic death imagery. And then you and I just look at each other. We just lost our goddamn minds.